deeper and see how this Be Live site works, and hopefully I can get it to actually go live this time. The last time, for some reason, it just showed up as private, and that was kind of weird. So I'm just trying to see what's going on here, and hopefully it's live now and public, and everybody can kind of hop on and see this. And okay, good, we are live. Awesome. If anybody wants to join me tonight, just let me know and I can send you a invite um on Twitter, and hopefully it will actually work. I know that I tried this the other day without going public and it was acting up. So hopefully it's working better tonight. Hopefully there's no weirdness going on. So if anybody wants to join me, just let me know and we'll make it happen. But for now, this is kind of a new platform here, so I'm just testing this out to see how things work. And let's see here. Interesting. Not sure how to add. I guess there isn't really a way to add things in here. So, um, but for now, I just want to chat a little bit about. I got a new device here, and I talked about it a little bit in my rant. But I got the Samsung Galaxy S20, and why did I go with that one? Well, I went with that one because the issues with the Ultra, and I wanted a smaller device. It has mainly all the same capabilities as the Plus and the Ultra, so I wanted to kind of see um, what they had to offer with these newer devices. I had the Note 10 Plus, and that one was just kind of eh. I mean, it was good, but I had some issues with the stylus not working right. I had some issues with some things, and um, also, it was locked to AT&T and they wouldn't unlock it, and we're now over on T-Mobile, so they, being Samsung, gave me a $700 trade-in on that. So basically $360 and got the S20 also to just kind of tinker with and check out 5G and see how that goes, especially now that they acquired Sprint. And so we'll just kind of see about that, and I'll be, of course, doing videos on that as things go, and as um so yeah, let's just kind of get into it a little bit here. So far my experience has been pretty good. I've been testing out 120 hertz high performance mode for a couple days, and battery life was okay. For my use, since I spend a lot of time on social media, shooting videos, things of that nature, watching YouTube, um, texting in the Twitter DMs, things like that. Um, Battery life hasn't been the best, but today I did switch it over this afternoon. Unfortunately, I had it on the charge. It was charging because it was connected to my computer, and so I can't really give you much information on that other than I did switch it over to the 1440p 60 hertz and power optimized mode, which means that I should get a good balance of performance and battery life, and hopefully can get a good 7-8 hours of screen on time at least, and make it through to the end of the day. And a typical day, 14-16 hour day off the charger would be nice, and about half of that of use time. So we'll see. um just everybody let me know how my video looks, how my sound comes through, and things like that, because hopefully y'all can hear me. I can actually check real quick. This might be interesting. 16-hour day. Good. I have sound. The other day I tested out this platform, had no sound. So if anybody has a couple minutes and wants to join and just chat with me for a little bit. I plan on being on here for maybe another hour at most, and just kind of sit back, chill, chat, talk, you know, and just kind of have a relaxing time, as I know the chaos that's going on around the world and the chaos that's going on in the United States, and the um, just kind of want to stay away from that discussion and talk about technology, talk about happy things, talk about um, T-Mobile and Sprint finalized their merger yesterday, and John Legere has stepped down, and he is no longer the CEO. It has been handed over to Mike, and so we'll see how things go from here. Hopefully, their plans don't change. According to their website, if you check out the FAQs, their plans will maintain and stay the same. And a matter of fact, they're talking about offering more select plans and things like that for people who don't necessarily need the unlimited data. And also, um, so the great thing about being with them is we pay for the more expensive plan, but that's taxes are included. That includes free Netflix, the middle two screen viewing ones. You can pay $3 a month and get that bumped up to the 4K and like four screens at a time viewing. Also had an issue with getting the iPad that I wanted through them, and they gave me a $50 credit because I wasn't able to get the 256 gig model at the time. I was only able to get the 64 gig. Also, they did send us a signal booster for free, and so in our house we have a lot of dead spots, and so that helps. Also, there are some spots where we get signal and it's just really, really, really slow. Not too concerned about it being on Wi-Fi, so for data and for Wi-Fi calling is pretty good. And our internet speeds here are reasonable. We get 60 to 70 down and about 5 up. The upload speeds aren't the greatest, especially being a content creator, but um, that's kind of what they have around here in this area. So hopefully that will change as this comes about. I'd also like to try out their in-home internet, but given the fact that it's based off from LTE and the speeds that we get here, until they improve upon those things, that won't happen. We were supposed to be looking to move here this next month, but given this bug that's going around, this virus, that is going to be adjusted because, of course, most places aren't taking new tenants in. Also, just affected income and things like that. My wife is a nanny, and now the lady that she nannies for, her fiance, will be working from home. He'll be working in at his location every other day, but he'll be working from home most of the time. And so that will affect her days of employment, cut it down to maybe 1 or 2 days a week until this is all over with, as opposed to 3, 4, 5 days a week, or 3 or 4 days a week. Um, and, um, so just kinda looking to see where all this goes, where, these companies and what they're talking about, their promises, their development of 5G will go, and if we'll get improved service here, because it's just been kind of funny to see 5G hopping and on and off on the status bar here, and just kind of see that randomly show up and not really improve signal though. A- As far as comparative experience, I've kind of always been an iPhone person for the longest time. It was just a matter of they offered everything that I wanted and needed. So for me, video and photography is really important. So to um, have a phone and device that I can just pick up and it works. I can just snap photos and I know they're going to turn out um, adequate. You know, they're going to be more than usable in a lot of cases, especially now that I have the 11 Pro Max, that my battery life will be good. I have the chat off to the side here, and I've had my phone off the charger since, this morning, and I'm down to 90% battery. I haven't been using it a ton since I've gotten the S20. I've been using that as my primary, but just to have a comparable device far as, here's my iPhone 10 with the broken, and just to have a device that's similar in size as far as height, it's pretty close. Width, it's a little bit narrower, but that could also partially be the case. But to have a device that just fits well in hand, I can unlock easily here. I can type with one finger. I can reach up and I can type with one hand. Type with one hand pretty easily. And the cameras have been really good. I haven't really had any problems so far. Haven't really had any hunting, focusing problems. A matter of fact, some of the things I've experienced have been quite different. Um, Up until now, no Android device has really met my expectations, and I say this as my expectations, as far as photography, battery life, um, but a well-balanced mutual experience with devices, and this is the first time that I can say that that's really changed. The Note 10 Plus was really, really close. I know I've only been using this device for about, this will be my 3rd full day, but as someone who has owned and used probably at least 100 devices, I can tell within the first short amount of time if it's gonna be something that is going to be up to par as far as my standards, or if it's gonna be something that, is not gonna be good enough for me. And so far, so good. And, um I'd just be curious to know anybody else out there that has the S20, the regular model, what your experience has been as far as performance, battery life, what your settings are. If you have any suggestions for like optimal battery life and performance as someone who I like the smoothness and things like that. I don't necessarily need 120 hertz on. I've figured that out already. It's nice to have, but unless you have a extremely keen eye who focuses and you're somebody who focuses on that and just looks for it, you won't really notice much of a difference. Um, and Dex has been great. It's really fast. Even Dex on PC, just being able to plug my phone into my MacBook Air here or my full-on Windows desktop PC and have it function in a way that it just I can use just the phone, and the thing about that is if the internet's down, as long as I have signal, I can plug the thing in, use it like a full-on PC. If you haven't seen any videos on DeX, I have a couple. Also, there are some great videos out there. Eric with Easy Computer Solutions does, a lot of videos on DeX. I have seen, um there is a guy, and I can't think of his name offhand right now, but he's been doing a lot of videos lately. And if I remember, I'll try to link to his channel in the description after this. Videos showing how to use Dex on PC with 2 and 3 displays by using things. For example, he uses Dex, but he also uses the Samsung Flow, so it mirrors the display. So he has Dex on one display, he has the display mirrored on the other, and he's running Linux on it. And then on the and and then on the third, he has just the device itself in kind of a mirrored mode. So he's running Dex on one display, he's running the device mirrored on the other, and then on the third display, it's like an extended display of Linux. And no, you can't drop stuff in between like you could on a normal computer. But if you put something in a file, it can be opened on any of those, and you'll be able to access it. So whether it's in Dex or the virtual Linux, or of course on the phone mirrored itself, that file is the same across them. So to see stuff like that is pretty cool. I've been looking at getting a USB-C dock, and then I need to get a different adapter because mine's currently having issues, but a USB-C to HDMI. And then um, being able to just dock the phone, because yes, I can just use it with a normal cable, but by docking it, then the camera's in the right orientation. So I want to start experimenting with doing mobile streaming, where it's my phone and my TV are basically the only things I use, and a keyboard and a mouse, of course, hooked up for easier operation of typing and maneuvering within DeX and things like that. Um, and if you don't know what DeX is, it's basically a desktop interface that when you plug in any Samsung phone that's the S8 and newer, it has this mode that does this interface where you can operate it just like the UI, the user interface of a full-on PC. And so you can have apps side by side, you can have multiple windows open with different browsers and things like that. So if you're someone who you like to have a smaller phone, like the S20 or the S10e or whatever, um, or even the S8, but then you wanna have that multitasking experience. The nice thing is being able to plug in a cable, connect it up to a TV or a monitor, and use a mouse and keyboard, and being able to turn this into something. Yes, you can do split screen. So, yes, I can do, um, something like have Twitter open on the bottom and Chrome open on the top, and even side by side view there, and you can see, they both function just normally is great. But to be able to do that on a larger interface and something that's not mirroring your display and it's optimized for the device is really handy. Also, if you do need a full-on computer, there is a program that I recommend. It's called Shadow PC, and you can use it on iOS or Android. And there's also a Mac OS and Windows app, um, where basically you're remoting into a computer that they assign to you, and you pay so much per month. So right now they have a tier that is $11.99 a month that gives you 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage, along with a quad core 3.4 gigahertz processor. And there are other tiers that go up from there. But if you're someone who every once in a while you need that full on PC experience, you need those .exe apps, applications, and or you have an older computer and you need the processing power, just being able to go connect, log in through the internet and use something like that is great. But Tech for Your Needs has a question here. Who is Dex for? What is the use case for it? So imagine you're a student, and every student pretty much has a phone. So you can go buy an S8 or an S9 for like under $200 now. Buy a cheap monitor for like 40, $50. A cheap mouse and keyboard for $50. So imagine you spend $300 right there, and you connect up your phone through an adapter to that monitor, or you have a TV connected up to your TV through HDMI. You plug in a keyboard and mouse, connect that up or go wireless with Bluetooth, and you have kind of that Chrome OS experience. So you need to type up documents. Well, you can type it on your phone. You can own a laptop. You can um, do things like that. But also, the idea that you can throw that in your pocket, so you could take it over to your buddies who also has a setup, and you could literally just grab a Bluetooth keyboard and mouth and a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, and throw in your adapter and bring it over to your buddy who has a TV, plug it into the HDMI cable, and do your work there, or um, use that desktop experience to maybe help. Let's say he's got work to work on, and you're going to help him learn how to use Excel or learn how to use PowerPoint or do different things in Word. Help him edit a paper. If he just has it on his phone, can bring it over, plug it in, you can get a larger experience. So for somebody who doesn't need a full-on PC, you're not doing high intense gaming, and then with that, you can hook up a controller, you can play games in full screen, or you can switch it over just to mirroring mode. But with Dex, the idea of you can have a document open on one side, and you can have your browser open on the other side to bring stuff in between. You're making a presentation, um, you can even have full-on Windows presentation software open on one side, and browser open on the other side, and drag and drop stuff in between. That's who it's for, the people who every once in a while, or as a student, business owner, a um, at home, you don't need a full-on PC. Something you might normally do with a laptop, you already have a phone. Something you need to be able to carry that in your pocket. Um, You snap photos, you bring home, you dock it up, you can edit with a full-on keyboard and mouse experience, so there are a lot of shortcuts that are implemented now, as far as holding down, like, the Windows key and right and left button to do split screen. There's all sorts of options, there's all sorts of use cases for you could remote desktop, through something like Splashtop or a VNC or whatever remote desktop software you're gonna use. So if you have a more powerful computer at home, let's say it's a full-on desktop and you're gonna go on vacation, or you have a vacation home and you're gonna be there for a week and you don't need to tote that computer with you. You have internet connection at both places. You have unlimited internet on your phone, so you don't even necessarily need that at the remote location. You can get access to your games, your documents, your files, whatever through remote desktop, but still have that keyboard and mouse experience just by throwing it in the bag. Um, get a handheld projector, connect it up that way, get access to all your stuff. That's the future of technology as well, is everything's in one spot, whether it's in the cloud and you access it from other interfaces. So you're accessing it from your watch, you're accessing it from your glasses, you're accessing it from a phone, a tablet. But no matter where you are, the processing power is done in the cloud potentially. So you pay for a service, you pay $50 a month, but you're paying less for your device because your device is hardware. Your device is there to take the pictures. Your device is there to do minor things. But as far as storage, as far as intense processing, if you need that, you can just pay a service to do that. That's where I see the future of technology going. Um, well, why would companies do that? How do they convince you to upgrade? Well, cameras get better, screens get better, battery gets better. It's the same thing with a laptop. It's just they can also, the motivation is, if you know that whenever the cloud hardware is updated, so is your experience. If they can continuously get you to pay, even if it's $15 a month, and that continues and continues for years to come, that's better than you just paying off a device in 6 months, you own the hardware. But why would but there'll still be people that will do that. There'll still be selling high-end on-device hardware because you'll have the people who need that, the people who don't have the internet access everywhere, the people who are traveling overseas, the people who are doing this and that. And so you want it on you all the time, right? You don't wanna have to worry about an connection, you grab that. But then, if you do still want that experience, you do still want the AI that helps you, edit your photo, you still want the potential for people who are photographers, videographers, creators is even if you're not using your phone to shoot the content, even if you're, um hey, Jason, um, using your camera, you're using a 4K camera, an 8K camera, imagine you connect that up to your phone, you import it onto your phone through 5G, it goes up to the cloud. Then created a macro or a little bit of a shortcut program on your computer at home. So the videos, the photos that you've shot along with it all go in, and that macro says, take that, and you've selected on your device. One is the first clip, two is the second clip. Then you have some photos you want in there. You select those as three, four, five, and six, and so on. It goes to your device at home, your computer at home, intelligently recognizes, well, this video goes into this video, merges them together. Then it adds transitions, goes to your photo, puts transitions in between each of your photos at the end of your photos, does transitions, then it brings up the next video clip because you've set up a macro and you set up a kind of pattern in which you shoot your videos and the software recognizes things. And so it does all the editing for you, it adds their transitions and it creates that. It uploads it to YouTube, it adds a title, and you had your description from remote that you want it to attach to it. But you don't have to do all the processing on the device. You could have shot 8K footage, could have shot 4K footage. Your computer at home handles that. Or you pay for a service and that service handles that. So you don't have to pay for a computer. You don't have to worry about your computer internet connection getting interrupted in between. You don't have to worry about your computer, your hardware malfunctioning while you're gone somewhere. You pay a service, so you shoot the video, you put it on your phone, you upload it. Or you shoot it on your phone has 5G connection plugged into the port, uploads that. And then somewhere that service that you're paying for, you've given it instructions as what to do with that. It does it, sends it to YouTube. Yes, that sounds lazy, but that also improves upon quality. It improves upon quantity as well because I can in turn have an editor all the way across the world. So imagine I could be shooting this in Africa right now and you wouldn't even know. And I could be shooting all my videos around the world. I could be traveling. I could be doing this and that. I send it up. My editor grabs it, throws it, edits it, and uploads it. Well, software could be replacing that. Yes, that sounds like I'm not paying somebody, but guess what? Who's got to create that software in the cloud? People are still being paid. People are being paid to monitor the hardware, to set up the hardware, to create the software, to adjust the software. People are being paid to develop the AI software, the AR software, the all this and that. People are still getting paid. It's just a change in direction, a change in avenue. It's not that, oh, the software is taking somebody's job. No, there'll always be jobs. It will just change. It will change the position. It will change it will change the experience they may need. But somebody can teach that. Somebody can motivate people to want to learn that. And we can't just be stuck in the past if we want to change, if we want to improve. We can't just be stuck thinking, well, this is all we're going to have. And so this is where I see technology going. This is where I see 5G being handy. This is where I see our devices going. They're not they're an avenue in which we experience what else is out there. That's why when you watch my videos or you're watching Netflix or you're watching other things on YouTube or you're watching Twitch, you're watching people game, you're watching whatever you have it, it's just the device is bringing that experience to you. So, if you can also use that device to create that experience, and you're not limited to what's in your hand because its connection to the world is so fast with such low latency that it's almost immediate or might as well be. That is where I see this technology coming into play. Also, imagine military having to be away from their family and they can talk to them without this delay, without wondering, you know, is the video going to get to them? Do I have to send a letter? Do I have to mail it? Do I have to do this or that? Imagine the satellite technology. Imagine being able to, all things that you can do now, but at higher quality and more direct and an experience that seems more there. Imagine that. Imagine the good uses out of this, not the bad uses. Imagine as a painter, you could do a time lapse of your paintings. As a potter, you could do a time lapse of you sculpting. As a drawer, you could do a time lapse of you drawing. Well, no matter what, a videographer, a photographer, no matter what your art form, you're able to portray that to the rest of the world. You're able to motivate, you're able to inspire, you're able to teach, you're able to create. And in particular, right now, in these hard times that we're having, as schools are now canceling, basically, the school year in Michigan is done. This whole situation that's going on here. Um, if you're in another grade, you're automatically pushed on to the next. If you're a senior, you're basically graduated. And I am sorry for those who don't get to experience walking down and getting their diploma that way. But I'm sure when this is all over and you're looking back, that experience could be recreated in the future. But imagine it doesn't have to be. Imagine that if this were the situation and 5G and this technology were more developed, that you could basically be sitting there and experiencing this because the person who is going to hand you your diploma has them all, and they, you know, show it, hand it to you, and you're experiencing like you're receiving it, but you get it in the mail. So you've gotten it in the mail. They have a different copy. They're acting like they're handing it to you. You grab it. It experiences the concept, the ideas. This is where all this needs to be used. Technology, after all, is just a tool. Jason, what do you think of YouTube copying TikTok? Honestly, I haven't really looked into TikTok much other than what I've seen on Facebook and people using it and things like that. I know it's kind of like Vine. It's this idea where you can take blips of audio and you can lip along with it. You can do all sorts of creative uses of it. As far as YouTube copying it, it would be more like um, YouTube allowing you to do short clips, kind of like Instagram stories or like Snapchat meets video. That's kind of what TikTok means to me. That's what I've seen and experienced. And I don't know if it's necessary that they're copying it or that they like the idea of it and using it so that you can experience it on one platform. I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube were to buy them out or license the APIs or APKs from them. I wouldn't be shocked. So it'll be interesting to see um, where all this goes, and I hope that you all get to experience this. And I hope that if anybody has any questions, that they'll feel free to ask those down below. If anybody has any ideas of, oh, this is what I think technology is going to be, feel free to share that with me. Um, I read all my um, comments and I always respond. Thank you for everyone who came out and joined as I did my rant. If you didn't see that video I came on about 7 o'clock and did a quick, well, not so quick, but 26-minute video kind of ranting about these companies, focused on Samsung right now as I just got the S20 and kind of ranting about experiences I've had with that, but just things that were on my mind. Good discussion on 5G wireless charging, um, cameras, 8K, 4K, just kind of people being lied to and what my purpose as the channel and goal is. So if you didn't see that video, please watch that. And thank you, Jason, for checking this out. Thank you, Tech for Your Needs. Thank you, Miles, for stopping on by. Thank you, Battery Powered, for also being supported. And if you don't know about it, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is 6 p.m. if you're over on the West Coast, that's PST. That is 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Um, there is a stream that I and Battery Powered do, or Battery Powered and I do on my channel as well. And please don't miss that, as more of kind of a little bit of what I talked today, but other topics will be discussed tomorrow, and we'll have our back and forth. And um, feel free to pop in and ask questions. Also, if you ever want to be on here and just kind of talk with me and discuss things, feel free to hit me up in the DMs and we can make that happen, or comment on here and I can try to reach out to you if you don't have Twitter. Also, I'm over on Instagram, and I try to make sure to check all my social medias. So thank you all for stopping by, and thank you for this first kind of experience using this Be Live TV. And for the replay crew, thank you for all of you watching, and peace out. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And God bless.